My name is Francisco, and I'm going to present my progress on my PhD thesis. It's an industrial PhD that I'm doing with 30 ingenieros and UC3M, and my supervisor is Gonzalo Sanchez. And it's focused on the development of a ground station for an airborne wind energy system, and we will see what's the point of all of this. So if we look at these two maps of wind power density, we see that the amount of energy that we can extract in an area in a given time is much higher when you go up in the atmosphere than the regular heights that traditional turbines operate. This is because the traditional turbines are limited by the support tower that must be built to support it, and usually go up to 100, 150 meters. But we would like to access all of this energy that is much more constant and much more powerful than the one closer to the Earth. So how can we achieve this? Basically, the idea is to use an aircraft in this time a kite, but it can be also a fixed wing aircraft attached to the ground with a tether. Basically, we fly the aircraft to the altitude where we want to extract the energy, and we fly it in a crosswind pattern, so perpendicular to the wind. That generates a lot of tension in the tether, and that tension is converted to torque on a generator that then generates energy. There are many companies working on these concepts, some more advanced than the others. Maybe the most advanced could be SkySails in this case, that last year certified for the first time the power cube of the prototype using the same standards as traditional wind turbines, which is somewhat of a milestone for the industry. But regarding the academic side of things, many universities work in close relationship with these companies, but the availability of public data is not very great, mainly because this private association, and also because of the large investment that this kind of equipment needs. So this is just a very, very, very brief of the resume of the state of the art. There are some very important groups. Basically, TU Delft works in collaboration with Kite Power, one of the most important companies. Milano has worked with Kite Mill and ABB, and then we have also Porto and Grenoble with their own prototypes. But there are not many universities with this kind of capabilities. So the main objectives of this thesis were to develop the testbed that we had here at UC3M to make possible the autonomous operation of the kite, and then to develop a fully fledged ground station for an airborne wind energy system. At this point, we have achieved most of the objectives. We are only missing the actual power generation that we hope it will be before the end of the year. And basically, this thesis has gone in two directions. First, this second version of the testbed that we have here at the university was developed, and we achieved autonomous control. And then we focused on the development of the new ground station. Even if we had the new ground station, we still did science with the old one. And this, a few months ago, I had my first paper accepted regarding the control of the smaller one. Just a quick overview of our control architecture. We are using one control variable, that is the heading angle of the kite, this C in this case. And that's for the control of the steering of the kite. And then for the navigation, for the guidance, we are using spherical coordinates. And basically, we are subdividing the trajectory into two legs. One is the state segments of the trajectory that basically converts to a tractor point. And then the curves, we switch to another strategy that is trying to maintain the perpendicularity with an arbitrary center of turning. All of that is calculated by the guidance module, and then we use a somewhat simple PID to calculate the actuation on the two linear actuators that steer the kite. And we achieved some quite acceptable results, I would say. This is a video from last summer, I think, with the smaller machine mounted on the track. And yeah, this is some results of this. This is this flight that we just saw. This is the flight that we shown on last year doctoral meeting. Basically, we tuned a lot of the position of the attractor points, the parameters of the PID, and we achieved much better trajectory. These are the tensions of the tether. So this is the total tether tension, and then left and right tether, so the two control tethers for steering the kite, and the central one. And we saw some interesting findings, like, for example, the central tether follows pretty closely the shape of the total tether tension. Just basically half of the tether tension is on the central one, and then the two control tethers are shifting the load one to the other. But yeah, we had some interesting findings with this. And then we focus on the development of the new ground station. This is the architecture of the new ground station. We already discussed that last year, but basically we have a flight controller that takes all the data from the sensors on the kite and some sensors on the ground, and commands the actuator to steer the kite. And then it communicates with all the other systems for the energy generation and management. That is subject of other theses, like Jorge's and Carolina from the electrical department. I'm focusing on the flight controller. And yeah, this is the state of the machine just yesterday. Basically, we have these two linear actuators that are the same as the old machine, but much bigger. And as a new thing in this prototype, we have this semicircular structure that basically help us to steer the output of the lines to face the kite in a 100 degrees, more or less, of freedom. We measure the tension of the kite, of the tethers, the angle of the tethers too, and then we have this platform, this moving platform with the generator on top and all the electrical system here at the back. And we are hoping to do our first flight with a big kite, like 5 meters of wingspan, in the next week or so. So let's hope that this goes well. Yeah, in terms of achievement, as I said, this year I published my first, got accepted my first paper as first author, and I had another one with Ivan, and we have submitted another one as third with the electrical department. Hopefully by the end of this month, I will be in Nantes for the Wind Energy Science Conference. And in terms of dissemination, this year we were in a circular economy day in Segovia with some public organisms, and we were featured on Televisión Española. So it was good. And that's it. So if you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer.